Okay, 3 stories, 1 main lesson. Okay, had a really sore neck about a year ago. It was debilitating, horrific. And the physio said, if you do these exercises, you'll get better. And I was like, physio is bullshit, but you're the doctor. I'll put the full trust in you. And I did the exercises and I got better. I don't really have a sore neck anymore. And then there was another time when I had bad anxiety in social situations around certain people I didn't know. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, if you think these positive thoughts instead of these negative thoughts, you'll get better. And I was like, how is me talking in my head, trying to convince myself of something, going to do anything? But the reality is, I put my full trust in her. I thought, you're the doctor, and it worked. And now I don't get these anxiety in these situations. But I had to be consistent. I had to do it every day. And then I got better. And this leads me on to Tim Sykes. And Tim Sykes said to me, if you work hard every day and you give it your all, you will be successful. And I can see that I am becoming successful. And it's just like anything. If you have belief and utter faith, you will get there. But the reality is, you have got to have complete, entire, whole, unabridged, comprehensive, full, uncut, intact, total devotion to your teacher in the process for it to work. And Mark Croock has that. And that is why this show is dedicated to him. That is why he's going to be the next fucking millionaire. Full respect to you, Mark. Enjoy the show.
Pretty tough market to play. I think we can all acknowledge that, especially for buying. 2016 has been an insane year for me.
Welcome to Jonk does PennyStocking. This is a show I don't even know, like 12 or 13 or something, but it is dedicated to the legend, Mark Croock. And why do I love this guy? It is because he is a veteran. He's a Tim Sykes veteran, watching every single video lesson. And I mean, he's been around 5-6 years. The guy is like a fucking robot. He just keeps on climbing. He's like... And let's take a look at Mark's stats. I mean, not only has this crazy cat gone and made himself 720 grand, but he's done it with the perfect trajectory. I mean, that is the perfect aeroplane takeoff. Great job, Captain Croock. You've done it again. Need I say any more? Enjoy highlights from the video lesson and the webinar that us challenge students get exclusively. Enjoy. So Mark Croock gives a lot of challenge webinars, and this is running over one of the most recent runners, IDXG, which is a very shady company, but it has a history of running, and when it gaps up on this multi-day breakout, it had this ascending triangle pattern, which I regularly play. It's probably the most common pattern I take profits from, and I'll let Mark take you through it.
December, and every spike ever since then has just been short-lived, and no surprise that this play failed to really hold its gains today. And perhaps if that news hadn't hit, maybe it would have squeezed higher. You never know. You got to play these carefully. Typically, it's very dangerous to short on day one. But the point I want to emphasize here is that it's very good to buy these in the morning and capture the upside into the morning spike, but you don't want to overstay your welcome, so to speak, on these plays. And this was clearly a fantastic buy in the 330s. Once that resistance area was taken out in the first 10 or 15 minutes of trading today on the 18th of April. So very nice spike all the way up to 440 from 330. So $1 a share, 30% move in roughly an hour and maybe 80 minutes, let's say. So, but the key here is not to be in the play, much longer than that. This is what can happen when you try and hold plays that are spiking with longer term charts that are very bearish. So the first 30 minutes it did 8 million and 16 million shares. And, you know, the first 15 minutes especially, it did 8 million, and the stock kept holding and holding and holding. So the odds are if a stock gets that incredible amount of volume, even though there is a longer term bag holder look to the chart, if it does get volume, this is what can happen. You know, this did spike significantly, but you have to understand that there are bag holders, there are warrants and all sorts of, you know, toxic financing deals.
Great lesson from Mark. A lot of these things are really good reminders for me, but for you guys, if you're learning, the most important thing is to remember the ascending triangle break when it gaps up is very important. And also he's going through the volume, like look how much volume. It traded 50 million shares, but it traded just a few million shares here, like 10 million, and it went all the way up here. But because there's so many people who've lost money on these spikes and bag holders and the bad news, that it takes more volume for it to spike this time because it's such a shit chart now, where it wasn't a shit a chart before. And this is what Mark's explaining. I can't really show you guys the whole thing. You have to join the challenge. But I just think it's awesome content, solid webinar, and I'm so pleased and happy to be a part of the challenge because you get these insights. And again, with Mark Croock, yeah, we just have some solid analysis, but this time in the webinar.
And you're going to find sellers over and over and over and over again. But if the news is good, like we had on NADL, this is what happens on very, very, very good contract news. This stock went from 70 cents to $4. So, you know, I think the stock's kind of absorbing the move now, and a lot of traders shorting this big run up, and now it's kind of consolidating near support, I would say, in the 220s, which goes back to early February, and of course it faded off that area. But they have a contract, not just with anybody, with ConocoPhillips. That does not mean that this stock's going to go back to 4 or higher, but it does mean that it's positive news, and the risk reward dip buying a stock with good news is pretty darn good. And that would also apply to Plug. You know, Plug had a nice dip down to the low 2s and bounced from 2 to 260. They had a contract with Amazon, and
yeah, again, I don't want to labor on too much about this, but it's like the one thing that I love about these webinars is just the context that you give. Because if you're looking at a stock that's like just mid-range here, it's like, it's terrifying because it's like, I'm going to lose so much if it goes down to the 1, but I can make so much if it goes up to the 4s. But getting the context from Mark about the contract win, knowing that it's a potential bounce, getting that reassurance is, again, it's the cool thing about the challenge and the webinars. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. You'll see me again on Sunday. Social channels are here. Hope you enjoyed the content from Mark Croock. The guy is a living legend and a robot. It's not the same without the noises. I'll see y'all later.